All right. We will now get to the basketball story that lit up the weekend. The sport, I can't believe you haven't gotten here yet. Owen, what are you doing? Get to the point. Jaylen Suggs, the top 3 pick who I told you have to follow this kid. He was a top recruit at quarterback coming out of high school, top recruit as a point guard. He's got amazing physical tools, and he hits the biggest shot of the tournament, one of the biggest shots in March Madness history, a game-winning buzzer beater on April 3rd, 2021, Max. In America, they call that 4-3-2-1.
Huh.
The date. So funny, awesome coincidence there.
4 seconds left. Wayne took the ball in.
Yeah.
3.5.
Had a great sequence earlier in the fourth quarter where he gets the block and
On like a power forward.
Yeah, comes up behind him. Some people say foul. I say block. Hand is part of the ball when in contact with the ball. Gets the block, maybe steps out of bounds, but also gets as a rebound and then throws a sick one-handed bounce pass for the dunk in transition. Fans were going crazy. Then we have our Canadian kid, Andrew Nembhard, with the crossover step back 3.
Oh.
Nasty move. I know he's going to be fun to watch. Canadian basketball is such a great place right now. And then Johnny Juzang, Johnny Buckets, who has been unbelievable all tournament for UCLA, gets work.
Yeah. No one has a right to that high a percentage of contested mid-range shots, but all game or all.
UCLA in general just had a ton of shot making in that game. I think they had their centers they were talking about wasn't a jump shooter, and he went 4-4 from mid-range, just making shots that no one really expected him to make.
Clutch 3 there towards the end to even set up that last sequence.
Yeah. Man. And he gets on the switch. He gets to a spot in the lane. The whole broadcast was going, this is a kid who knows how to get to his spots. And he got to a spot. Floater doesn't go, but he gets his own rebound because when you've been playing that well, the ball finds you, lays it up. 3.3 left on the shot clock. Jaylen Suggs. Gonzaga has a timeout. They have a timeout, but maybe this is a lesson to coaches out there that sometimes it's better to just go before the defense is set, before they get a chance to look at what play you want to run, and just let your guy go to work. The coach said in the interview after the game, this was stuff that they had worked on in practice. You work on those late game scenarios. And this was a kid that consistently came through for them time and time again. He knew when he shot it, it was going in. And Jaylen Suggs sprints the length to the floor, knows exactly when he wants to get the shot up too, because some kids will shoot a half-court shot just a second too early, but he goes right to around the 40-foot mark, elevates, perfect timing, banks it in. Wow, what a moment. And he said after the game he wanted to go up on the scorer's table to celebrate, just like Dwayne Wade, one of his idols, and Wade called him out after the game, just that was sick. And just such an incredible moment that we had been waiting for, because the Elite Eight, a little bit of a snooze fest, couple blowouts, hadn't been a game-winning buzzer beater yet in the tournament. And we finally get it in one of the biggest games. And now the title game is set tonight. The 2 behemoths, Baylor and Gonzaga. Gonzaga going for the undefeated season. Baylor looking to upset them. Another great team who just crushed Houston in the other Final Four game. We didn't really even need to tune in too much to that one, but yeah, should be an awesome game. I cannot wait. I'm on the edge of my seat right now just thinking about it. It's going to be a fun one. And just to go into Gonzaga especially, and Baylor too, but a lot of NBA ready players on both sides for these teams. You've got Jaylen Suggs, of course, who's going to be a top 5 pick. And then you've got Corey Kispert and Andrew Nembhard, a couple other great shooters for Gonzaga. And Drew Timme has been having a great tournament. If he gets drafted, might be a little bit later in the draft, just because I don't know how well his game will translate to the NBA. He's a dominant college player, but some of those guys just don't convert. Just Gonzaga's got a ton of NBA players, and so does Baylor. And so this should be just an awesome game. I worry about it just ending in a blowout. But you got to imagine that these teams are going to be tight because this is the biggest game they've ever played in. And sometimes the nerves get to you. So it might be a slow start, kind of like how we see in the Super Bowl. But I think we're going to have something special happen near the end of this game. And I'm just really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see with this two very different Final Four games having happened for each team, if that plays out at all, if it's a tight game. I mean, Gonzaga, UCLA, I feel like was the story of that game up until that crazy buzzer beater.
Yeah.
I mean, they just hung in there and had like
Yeah.
the shot making games of their careers for a lot of them probably. And they had to do that because Gonzaga was just getting easy buckets all night. I mean,
They are such a great offense.
yeah, and that they were so calm, so clutch in a situation they hadn't been in, and just generated such solid scoring chances almost every time down the court, even though it sounds like that's not really their game. They're used to excelling with defensive stops and getting the points in transition. So they're put in an uncomfortable situation with more pressure than they've experienced all season, and still made the scoring look easy and weathered the defensive effort. So I wonder if that is going to show itself in the finals tonight, if we see a similar run down the stretch, how that holds up.
Yeah, both teams that are accustomed to blowouts, right? And Gonzaga's average margin of victory before this game, I think, was like 17 or something. Like they just blow teams out.
I think they're saying they were on like a 20-something game streak of winning games by double digits.
Yeah, they just have been dominant. And this was the game where they finally got tested. And I think Baylor's had a couple, but similar story where a team just with a ton of blowouts consecutively. And so we'll see another situation where if it comes down to the wire, how will these kids react when they're not winning by 10? Very exciting stuff. We look forward to the game tonight, and we'll bring you, I guess, a brief recap of that on Friday, although it might be far and away in everyone's minds by then. But looking forward to it. Enjoy the game. We'll take a quick break and come back for some tennis.